Hello.
Hey,
Hi, girl.
how are you?
I'm doing good. What's going on with you?
Nothing much. Thank you so much for talking to me and allowing me to interview
Oh,
you.
I know. But girl, we always talk through social media and stuff, so
Yeah,
we've been keeping in touch, girl.
right. How are you doing through all this quarantine?
um, I didn't hear. Hold on. I'm sorry. What you said?
How are you doing through this quarantine?
We're doing good, girl. For the most part, I have been at home. I did get furloughed.
Mm-hmm.
Because I actually teach in a private school, so
Mm-hmm.
you know we've been furloughed, but I've just been one day at a time, keeping positive as much as you can, and just keeping busy with stuff. To be honest, what
Mm-hmm.
about you?
Good. I was furloughed as well. I go back supposedly May 31st, but we'll see what happens.
Right, and this is like for us, the school year is
Mm-hmm.
like see you in August, and I'm like, okay, but I mean, at the end of the day, it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna stress about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Ain't gonna stress about it.
I know, I get it. I completely understand. So I have been loving your music and watching you just grow, and it's amazing. Because I haven't been doing interviews, and so I was like, I have to interview Kamari. Like, I just have to.
Oh,
Yeah, no.
girl, this quarantine has really been a blessing because I was able to really get down and focus. You work and stuff. You
Mm-hmm.
just kind of like the mundane. I go to work, come
Mm-hmm.
home with the family, but it's been a blessing to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited. I remember when you first started doing that, and I was just like, oh, this is so her. This is so her.
I appreciate it. I really appreciate it.
Yes.
So I met you in Memphis. Where are you originally from?
Girl, that's like a twofold question. So my dad's military.
Mm-hmm.
But I was born in Louisiana. I was born in Shreveport, Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad's family is from Florida. So I typically just tell people that I'm from Shreveport and that I was, majority raised in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Those are my two homes. Being an Army brat, really, it's just like, I was moving every 3 years. So
Mm-hmm.
when I got to Memphis, I had just moved there from Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And we were in Florida before we got in Texas. But yeah,
And you're in Florida
all over
now?
the place. No, I'm actually in Raleigh, North Carolina now.
Okay.
Hmm
That's
Just made
cool.
it on up. I
Yeah.
know. Actually, honestly, it reminds me a lot of Memphis.
Mm-hmm.
It's very like family. Like you still have like those family like oriented places, but then it's also like on the up and up. Like this is like I think the second largest city that's growing in America because they do a lot of tech and pharmaceuticals here. So it's definitely growing. I would
Yeah,
have to say that.
I hear about it a little bit from time to time, and I said no one ever really talks about what's going on, so that's cool to hear. Because normally I hear
Hmm
bad things about it sometimes.
Girl, yes, because you do have, the Raleigh Durham area and people around here and different things, folks are gonna be folks. But as far
Mm-hmm.
as like getting in different industries, like the pharmaceutical industry is big here. Amazon is big here, FedEx,
Mm-hmm.
all that type of stuff. It is like a lot of big companies are coming here to put their businesses. So it's pretty neat.
Yeah. So how did you get into music?
Well, I would have to say, my mom and my dad for sure. My mom played the organ for my grandfather, who's a pastor, and
Okay.
my dad was actually a producer um, in the 80s and 90s. He used to produce actually with Suge Knight's team.
Wow.
Um, yeah, this was in the early 90s and stuff. And then at that time, of course, that's when he and my mom got married. And then that's when he kind of branched out of it. But he actually does still produce actively now,
Mm-hmm.
more so local artists. But that's how I actually got into music through my parents.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
so
a
long
strong
history.
connection.
Right.
And what do you love about music?
Um, I think for me, it's just you're able to be yourself. I'm able to actually get out what I want to say in my music rather than saying it to people. I found that that was easier for me to communicate my thoughts and feelings in music. I love the sounds. Just it gives you a feeling. I've always played around with it, so I love just the nostalgia of it. How
Mm-hmm.
people create. Everybody's taste is different.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody interprets it differently. And for me, I like that. I like to hear different sounds. I like to hear different creators. That's a big thing for me.
No.
What
Yeah.
somebody, thinks is music.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think my motto for my blog when I started, I said, "Where there's music, there's culture, and where there's culture, there's life," because there's so
Oh,
much
yeah.
history in music and culture. So,
Yes. Because it blends together. You got to think about all the different cultures that we have, like, globally. Like,
mm-hmm.
talking about you have cultures in Africa. There's different sounds, like different parts of the world. They use certain instrumentation, and you can tell that it's from. Okay, well, no, this is more of a Spanish style, or this is more of an African style, or this is more of um, a European. Everybody has their own type of niche
Mm-hmm.
wherever you go. Even here in America, I know we're a melting pot, but you know, we have a good blend, I think, here.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, with people coming here, of course, we understand that. But
Yeah, but regionally, music is definitely different here.
yeah, absolutely.
So I know you're in gospel, but do you have other genres that you would love to explore or to be a part of, or that you just enjoy?
I mean, I love um R&B.
Mm-hmm.
I do. I started off as a secular artist, and now I was really pushing myself as a secular artist. But as time grew past, just God was really leading me in a totally different way.
Mm-hmm.
And once I made, you know, I had to put my flesh down and be like, okay, well, God, you want me to do this? But I love old school R&B. I'm talking about from 60s through 90s,
Mm-hmm.
like old school R&B, like the Earth, Wind, and Fires. I
Right.
like the Temptations. I like the Gap Band.
Mm-hmm.
I listen to all that. That's really some of my, stuff that I go and I listen to now. If I'm not listening to gospel, I always go and listen to old school R&B. I love the old school R&B groups.
Mm-hmm.
Especially, I love male singers
Mm-hmm.
because I just love their voices. I love their tones.
And they
That's
definitely
like
don't sound
really,
like that today.
yeah. They don't like. We don't have any. To me, I don't feel like we have any R&B like male singers, with the exception of Chris Brown and Usher, people that we grew up with. But
mm-hmm.
like the new age, I haven't heard one yet where I'm just like, okay, yeah, he got it.
Mm-hmm.
But not as of yet. And of course, um, I do listen to a lot of choral music, choir music. I love old school choir music,
Mm-hmm.
good old foot stomping and shouting.
Mm-hmm.
But that's kind of where I'm at. I like that chill vibe, especially in the '90s. It's like my favorite.
I feel like that's
Favorite.
everybody's favorite. 90s.
Yes, and '90s. I said I could have literally lived in the '90s. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
the style of music. That's what I would have loved to have done.
Right. So if you had to choose, like, who would be your top five favorite artists of all time?
Oh, oh my gosh. So what are we talking about? Are we talking about just vocally? We talking about music and vocals?
Yeah, all together, whichever you want to do. Just like who, like your top five.
Okay.
Doesn't matter the
Um,
genre.
not in any order.
No.
Man, that's kind of hard. Man, that is kind of hard. Wow, wow, wow. Top five. Okay, I know for a fact, I know it's going to sound cliche, but I really do love Beyonce. I think she's fired. Like, she's done everything. So I
Mm-hmm.
got to put Beyonce in there.
Mm-hmm.
I got to go through my repertoire and make sure I'm not missing nobody. You pull out a question on me, girl. No, because it makes you think, like,
mm-hmm.
man, who is your top five? Like, man, who is your top five? I'm going to say Karen Clark Sheard, only because I love Karen Clark's old school music. I can actually go listen to her first album top to bottom and don't skip it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, absolutely love her. Ooh, Ryan Leslie.
I know
Ryan
the
Leslie. He
name.
is, yes, Ryan Leslie to me is like all around just, he's genius to me. Producer, songwriter, singer. And then on top of that, the dude aced his SAT score. Like, he went to Harvard. Like, he's just
Wow.
freaking bananas. Yes. I love Ryan Leslie. I'm trying to think. Okay, that's 3. Gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I need 2 more. If I had to somebody that I would just be like, oh, I gotta listen to this song. Huh. Man, it's so hard. Like, it's so many people. I'm just like, I'm trying to think. Let me think. I'm going through my little repertoire here. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna say Aaliyah.
Oh, yeah. She's one. She always
Yeah.
pops in my head, and I didn't realize that we still don't have access to her catalog to just freely listen to her music.
Yeah, you don't. Her family, they did some type of deal. Well, not a deal, rather. They basically said they weren't putting her music up online. And I was just like, man, you can't even go listen to her songs and like, it's just like crazy. I hate that because I really like Aaliyah was probably another big artist to me that influenced me.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of when I was growing up, like Sharon Kardashian and Beyonce. And the last person I'm gonna say, only because I feel like he is just super duper duper talented all across the board. I'm gonna say Chris Brown. Because I've followed his career as a writer,
Mm-hmm.
and I appreciate it, that he's able to be a singer and a writer. So if I had to like listen to somebody's actual like music, like his old catalog, and I'm talking about young Chris Brown, I'm
Right.
talking about like Chris Brown, like back then. So I would have to say him as well. That'd be probably my top.
Okay, so we all have like that one artist, that one song that we play all the time. We just go back to. So like for you, like what song is that, or what artist is that you know that you play on repeat often, or you go back to?
Okay, it's Jesus is a Love Song by Karen Clark Sheard. Hands down. I don't care what it is. If it was only probably one song that I had to listen to, that would probably be my song that I would listen to. That's like, I can listen to that song over and over and over and not get tired of it.
Okay.
Hands down.
Okay. And do you play any instruments?
Oh yeah, well I did take piano lessons. I'm not an Alicia Keys, but I can do enough.
Right.
I can do enough. You know what I'm saying? Actually, I was taking lessons when I was in Memphis. When I was going to Cordova. I don't know if you remember the choir teacher, Miss Johnson. I don't know if you remember her. Miss Johnson used to kind of teach me a little bit, but I think more so for me, what I've been doing when I went off to college, I started audio engineering. So I actually like record my own music, and I don't always mix my own stuff, but I record my own music and track my own vocals, do all my stuff like that. So that's something that I actually do at home. I don't actually go to a studio. I actually do that stuff in my house. So everything that you hear online, I actually did in my house.
And it's really good because I noticed when you did your new single for the win, I saw that and I was like, she did that in a matter of hours. Like,
yes, everybody was just like, oh man, I like this. Is this a song? And I was like, and I had told my husband, I was just like, he was like, you need to go ahead and record it. I was like, for real? And so literally pulled out all the stuff. Because we hadn't even set up the studio in this house as of yet, but I pulled out all the stuff and then I literally recorded that song on the floor in our extra bedroom. And then I mixed it. My husband came back, mixed it behind me. He went and mastered it for me. And then literally, he showed me how to do my graphic for it. And we put it up the next day. Like, it was a literal, like, 24-hour challenge for us. Record, mix, master, put it online, and that was it. 24 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was fun, I have to say, because I was like, we got to get it done. I was like, people are asking for it. They were excited about it, so it was pushing me to get it done. So that was really dope. I like that.
On average, in the past, like, how long does it normally take you? Like, how long is the process to produce a song?
Well, if you just talk, most of the time, like, I don't produce like my music far as like the beat.
Mm-hmm.
I have a couple of producers that I work with. My husband actually being one. He's actually like one of my main producers. That's how he and I actually got connected. So usually he does the beat and everything, or another friend of mine named Capo. He'll send me some stuff, and what I do is I write it, and then I'll just go in there. I'll lay down my stuff, and then I listen back to it to see if I want to change anything. I say if it's a beat that I really, really like, it wouldn't take me any more than a few hours to record it and get it mixed. As far as recording time, I can record a song in like an hour and a half. That doesn't take me that long at all.
That is a gift.
Like, yeah, like, I mean, but I have been doing it for so long, especially like when I was in college. So I did a lot of reference singing songs for like A-list artists. Like, we were shopping songs out to Rihanna and Beyonce and Kelly Rowland and K. Michelle. So I would be in the studio sometimes for 6-7 hours at a time, recording 2 and 3 tracks in a day.
Wow.
To send off to these different labels and stuff. So that helped a lot of practice. So I kind of know my groove to get in there. Just get in there and get it done. Stay focused and just keep the juices flowing. Don't try to overthink it too much, really.
And what college did you go to?
Full Sail University.
Oh, okay.
FULL, and then like a sailboat. It's in Winter Park, but it's Florida. But most people say Orlando. It's in the Orlando area.
Mm-hmm. So, do you get your voice from your mom or your dad or another relative?
My mom cannot sing worth a lick. I love her, but she cannot. I love her, but my mom cannot. Like, she can play piano. She can play the organ. My mom cannot sing. I love her. Now, my dad can actually sing. My dad can sing. Both of my aunts can sing. I have 2 aunts. So my mom's sister and my dad's sister both can sing. My dad's sister actually sang professional opera for like almost 15 plus years. So she's like classically trained. And then of course, my grandfather that is a pastor, he sings. So I guess, it's in the family and it's just, kind of trickled on down. I don't know how to skip my mom, but, on both sides. I love her though. I know she's going to be like, girl, I can sing. I'm like, no, it's not. That's not your thing. That's not your thing.
It's okay. We all have different gifts.
Yeah, she does. She's the doctor, so she has the gift of healing. That's what I always say.
So, as an artist, what is your goal, and how would you like to impact people?
My goal is what I've always been speaking is I want to be international, and the biggest thing is because I'm doing gospel music. I want to impact people's lives. I want to give them hope. I want them to, see God through me, and to hear God through my music. At the end of the day, I look at it like I'm just the mouthpiece, and God is giving me what to say, and I'm able to just put it on some nice beats and sing it in a melody. I definitely see myself, working and partnering with some labels. I'm not actually looking to get signed to a label only because I've learned about label deals and different things. I actually want to, partner with the label with my production company and do like a distribution or like publishing style deal. And just I want my market to spread. I actually don't want to just have my music just in the gospel, the gospel lane, because I feel like the sound that I'm doing it can kind of go both ways. When you first hear it, you're like, is this a gospel song? You don't realize it until you hear it. So really my charge is to bridge the gap between what we in church say is secular, what I would say the older folks say is secular, in traditional gospel music,
Mm-hmm.
and to give that extra, you know what I'm saying? Because sometimes people want to hear something that's, you know, upbeat and it kind of has a different flavor to it. So I want to bridge that gap between gospel music and like your hip hop and your R&B, your trap music. Because at the end of the day, the message is what is the meat.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the beat and everything else just makes it, gives it a good vibe, but the message is the main part of the song. That's the
Right.
soul of it.
And oftentimes I would say like the beat is what like pulls people in, and sometimes it will get people to latch on to the message, whether it's good or bad.
That's right. Because a lot of times when you listen to some of the stuff that's on, you know, that they play on the radio station, you know, really for me, you know, I can't relate with, you know, some of the stuff that's on online, not
Right.
online, but on, you know, because it's just not my lifestyle.
Right.
But you'll end up bobbing your head because you're like, man, that beat is nice. It just, you know, it got a nice feel to it, and you're right. And I think with, you know, the stuff that I've been doing, you know, the beats are bringing people in, but then when they hear like the cadences and stuff and how it's flowing, they're like, oh man, she actually saying something. So I
Mm-hmm.
really, you know, make sure that I seek God about that and like, okay, God, what are you telling me? Like, what are you giving me feels for this track? What am I supposed to be saying?
And you know what? It's really hard to find artists like that. It's like like you can hear it from occasionally, but most of everything, especially on the radio, is the same. So it's not often.
Yeah.
And most of my music, I get it from Spotify. So and I do a lot of
Girl, I don't
skipping.
even I do too. I don't even listen to the radio. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
don't listen to mainstream radio. You get the same 15 songs.
Mm-hmm.
Even on gospel radio, people don't realize that. But on mainstream gospel, you're getting the same 15 songs, just like if you were to turn on a hip hop or a rap station, you're getting the same song. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm with you. I do Spotify, and that way I can find new artists.
So have you performed any of your music live, or do you have any live performances coming up after quarantine?
When I did the first single, Source, I did a couple of live performances.
Mm-hmm.
For that one, you know, for like a gala, I
Mm-hmm.
actually performed it at a showcase. Um, and then by the time we got, you know, towards school, then, you know, performances, because I wasn't able to, you know, get as many performances because of, you know, different things, work and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
With this particular track, of course, we're in quarantine, but the good thing is I am, you know, getting in contact with some different people, you know, just kind of bridging some stuff together,
Mm-hmm.
to, you know, getting some different avenues to start performing. Because, like I said, what I'm doing is not traditional, you know, it's non-traditional. So definitely getting, you know, on college campuses and, you know, getting with a group that
Mm-hmm.
does similar style than what I do.
Yeah. And were you nervous when you did those performances?
Yeah, I would say I always get nervous. Um, Anytime I sing, I actually lead praise and worship at church, and
Mm-hmm.
I still even get nervous going up there for a second. But then at the end of the day, something that I always remember, my husband had told me, he's like, you don't focus on looking at the people. You need to focus on ministering,
Mm-hmm.
and focus on God. And I always pray, and I ask God. I say, God, I need you to increase in me. I don't want these people to see me. I need you to be all through everything that's coming out of me, period. But always, whenever I get nervous, I don't focus on the people. I focus on what I'm doing it for, who I'm doing it for. And even if it's just one person that says, man, that touched me, I did my job,
Mm-hmm.
hands down.
And if you could work with any artist or write for any artist, dead or alive, who would it be?
I want to work with Timberland.
That's
He's
a good
like
one.
my favorite, favorite producer. Like, I would love to just be able to like create, because what I noticed with him, I've seen like how he's gone with so many artists like Justin Timberlake, the 50 Cent, and basically cultivated like albums around them. Like, that's a gift if you're
Mm-hmm.
able. And then, like, of course, we know Aaliyah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, her sound is bridged from him.
Mm-hmm.
I would definitely like to work with him. I would love to work with Missy Elliott. I think she's super, super dope. Like, people don't realize Missy Elliott is a rapper. She's a producer. She's a singer. She does it all. Um, but I would have to say probably hands down, like my number one, I'd say I would love to work with Timbaland.
Okay. And so you have The Source and you have For the Win. Do you have any more songs that you're working on currently, or do we have an album
Yeah, I'm
coming
actually,
out?
yes, I am working on my album right now. I actually pushed up the release date, so I'm actually going to be releasing it within the next 2.5 months.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so we're actually building the catalog, and I have a couple of other songs. I have a song that I've already recorded. I just haven't released it. I've had that one kind of in my back pocket. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually halfway done with it now, and been working with one of my producers out in California. He's been kind of sending me tracks and stuff. So we're building this particular project so we can have it released by the end of the summer.
Okay.
Yep, I'm so excited.
Do you do any mentoring or anything, or plan to do any in the
Oh,
future?
hold on. You said say again?
Do you do any mentoring right now, or do you plan to do any in the future just to help people out who may want to be in the industry or want to learn? No.
Hello.
Sorry, we got disconnected. I'm not sure
Oh
how.
no, you're fine. No, I was saying actually, at the moment, I guess I would have to say yes. I have a friend of mine that she does worship music, and she's been kind of coming to me for that. I do mentor singers. Um, I started off with kids because I do teach, among other things, I do teach music
Mm-hmm.
at the private school that I work at.
Mm-hmm.
So with them, I do mentor them in that aspect. What we're doing right now, like I said, is I'm actually like getting stuff finalized for my production company, because that's what I do plan to do to help local artists get their music together, because I know how it can be when you're trying to get with a producer and you're trying to contact this person for studio time and you need someone to mix your. It's a lot of work that goes into it, and
Mm-hmm.
I want to be able to offer them a one-stop shop. What we do here, everything that you see on there, as far as like my graphics, my website, my pictures,
Mm-hmm.
all that stuff has been done between my husband and me.
Mm-hmm.
We do the music, we do the filming, we do the photos, we do the website, we do everything from top to bottom. And so I want to be able to give that to other artists as well. So that's what we're going to be doing here. By the end of the year, that's what
Mm-hmm.
I plan to have that fully established and ready to go.
Okay. I'll be following and watching.
Yes, I'm so excited. That's why we were actually. It's funny you called, because when we got back in the house, I said, "Oh wait, it's almost 8 o'clock." And he was like, "What?" I said, I gotta talk to my friend. I was like, he was like, "Oh, we got back just in time. We were just at Walmart getting some extra equipment
Mm-hmm.
and stuff for our studio space, because a couple of people, people reaching out that want to record and stuff, and make sure we got all the stuff laid out for them that they need.
Mm-hmm.
You know, user friendly, easy, and keep it pushing. Help them with their work.
I know you have two little ones. Are they interested in music at all?
Yes.
Really? do do you
Yes.
like
Yes.
singing, or do they want to play
Oh my God.
instruments?
So one of them literally wants to bang on the drums all day. That's the youngest. His name is Josiah.
Mm-hmm.
He's 1. And then our oldest is Xavier. He's 5. He seems to take more interest in the piano and playing like bass guitar, but he can actually sing.
Mm-hmm.
So he can already sing. I'm still listening out for the youngest one, but I do believe he's going to be able to sing as well. But they
Aw.
love music. Like, they sit there, they hear it, and they're just like jamming.
And your husband can sing as well?
Yes, he can.
You guys are
He
just a
sure
whole musical
can.
family.
Girl, I'm trying to tell Like it was just like meant to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's able to do all that. He knows how to. He's a writer. He can produce. He can sing. He's it's just all around all of us from top to bottom. So I give God glory for that because that's a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, to be able to share that with our kids. That's a blessing. Blessing.
So being in North Carolina,
Mm-hmm.
what's the music scene like there? Do you? Because I know Memphis, it's super vibrant here right now. So being there, like, what is it like there?
So actually, here there's actually a really big like hip hop scene out here.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and there is a gospel avenue, but like I said, it's a little bit more on the quartet traditional style. Um, but I do know for a fact, like through North Carolina, there's a hip hop scene because you got to think about who came out of North Carolina. You got J. Cole.
Mm-hmm.
My husband was just talking to me about a producer, Ninth Wonder, Rhapsody. These are people that came out of North Carolina, so it's like an underground hip hop scene that I don't think people really realize is here.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really dope. And he was the one that actually put me onto that. I was just like, outside of J. Cole, I didn't know, anybody else that came. Oh, duh, Fantasia. I don't know how I forgot her.
I didn't know she
Yeah.
was from there. For some reason, I thought J. Cole was also from like Detroit, Michigan, or
J.
Chicago.
Cole is from Fayetteville, which is about, I think it's like 2.5 hours away from Raleigh.
Mm-hmm.
Fantasia's from High Point, which is about 45 minutes to an hour, 15 minutes from here. Um, and those are like two big names that a lot of people know. And I know it's a whole bunch more, but I don't really know them because, like, I'm not from here, but people in North Carolina will let you know
Mm-hmm.
who their top artists are. So,
How has this scene compared to other places that you've been in?
um, I would have to say it's it's different for two different aspects. So I'm not doing secular music anymore. When I was doing secular R&B and stuff, I was in Orlando. So in Orlando, it was a lot of live shows type style because it's a touristy place.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Here, it is what I've noticed more so as far as like in the gospel aspect. Oh, that's another one. Shirley Caesar from North Carolina. I
Okay.
forgot that. Yeah. Um, Here, I haven't really gotten a chance to really get a good feel as far as the gospel scene. What I've seen so far is a lot of, like the quartet and things of that nature. The only places I've really seen where they get more into the more youthful sounds are on the college campuses because it's like 5 colleges here in
Mm-hmm.
like the Raleigh Durham area. Um, but I would say in any place like Orlando is definitely like popping now. Like
Mm-hmm.
people are coming out of Orlando left and right, like and gospel artists at that. Go figure. Um, but there, and because I think pastors are flocking down there. They're starting to take their churches and stuff down there. It's becoming another big city for churches. So
I had no idea. I would have never thought.
yeah, because Ty Tribbett, his church is in Orlando, and then William McDowell, he went to Full Sail. Actually, he's a Full Sail graduate. His church is in Florida. So two big name gospel artists that are like that one Grammy, their churches are stationed in Orlando,
Mm-hmm.
which is crazy. But I think honestly, it really comes down to: are you connecting with people? Are you putting yourself out there? Because somebody knows somebody that knows somebody,
Right.
and that's the biggest thing. And being in the right place at the right time, connecting with the right folks, and you know, just with the stuff I've been doing, I've connected with so many people. It's crazy. Social media is like truly a tool. Like
Mm-hmm.
people that I would have never thought I would have been able to speak to. Like it's amazing.
Yeah, I saw you. I saw your video of that live, and I said I have no idea who this guy is, but he's super popular. And I said
Yes.
I was wondering how is that? Have you gotten a lot of feedback from people from that live? Like, how does that work?
Oh my gosh, girl, I'm still looking at stuff off that thing. Like
Really?
literally, I'm trying to see because when I went on there, I had like a lot of comments. Diamond actually shared it in our Facebook group, and I didn't realize it until like hours later. I got a lot of good feedback, but most importantly, the best feedback that I got was from the producer himself.
Mm-hmm.
Zaytoven, people that are heavy on like trap and hip hop and R&B music know about Zaytoven.
Mm-hmm.
But what they don't realize is Zaytoven was actually, he comes out of church.
Mm-hmm.
He knows how to play in multiple instruments. So I got great, like super duper huge feedback. Like I'm looking at it now, like I had 42 people share this on Facebook,
mm-hmm.
over 200 likes, almost 810 views. I'm just like blown away by the support. And then on Instagram, it's like it seemed like every 10 minutes, like I got more comments. People are like, yeah, I'm loving the music and stuff. So I'm just so like thankful.
That's exciting.
It is.
Because I know social media can be tricky. So
yeah, it can be, because it's just like, whew. It's just, you're putting yourself out there and you're like, man, I don't know what folks are going to say. But I was just like, I'm going to put it out there anyway.
Yeah, you have to. That's how you sometimes get connections. So
that's right. I mean, if you don't put yourself out there, you're not going to know who likes it. And, there's always music for somebody. Your music can be for somebody.
Mm-hmm. So we talked about like the process of writing your songs earlier, but like what determines so when you wrote these last two songs, did it come just off the top of your head, or like what determines what you write about or how you go about it?
I usually go with my gut instinct,
mm-hmm.
whatever flows out. When I did Source, that particular song, I was actually pregnant at the time with
mm-hmm.
our second. And it was really, the words are true in the song where I said, all of this frustration, Lord, I can't take it.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, it was just a lot going on. I'm, not upset about being pregnant or anything, but it's just like a lot going on. Where I'm just like, whew, man, Lord, it's a lot like going on. We got to get prepared for this child. We got to, we have to take care of this. Lord,
mm-hmm.
we got to move. And I was a little frustrated, hormones everywhere. And my husband was like, put it in a song. And he made a beat.
Mm-hmm.
And literally, I wrote what came in my spirit. And God just reminded me, he said, I'm your source. So
mm-hmm.
don't worry, everything's going to work out. And that's how that song came about.
Okay.
With For the Win, it was the same way. I started playing on this, literally just playing on this app. And
mm-hmm.
I got so much feedback off of that clip. I was driving in the car, I was listening to beats, and I was just kind of like, we've been having conversations about, the stuff going on with the coronavirus.
Mm-hmm.
People are like, people are really scared. They're fearful. They're
mm-hmm.
just like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't want to get sick, And it was kind of making me feel, kind of grieving for them. Because I was just like, man, they don't have to be scared. And it was kind of making me upset. Because I'm just like, the devil doesn't have any power.
Mm-hmm.
So I literally in the back of my mind, that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, the devil is not going to be putting his hands on people. Like we're going to stop this mess and just keep praying and believing God and trusting
mm-hmm.
God. And I literally was in the car and I was just like humming, and then something was just like, man, I wish the devil would pull up. And then I was just like, pull up, and I was like, okay. And I did it in one take, and I was like, yeah, that's it. I was like, okay, it's time to go write the rest of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I put it up there, and everybody was like, what? Like, whatever typically comes out of my head first is what I go with, because I feel like that is the true essence of the song, what I'm feeling. If I got to force it, I don't want to mess with it.
Right. That is a blessing, though.
Yeah, girl, I mean, like, some people like to make it mathematical. Me, I feel like it got to settle in my spirit. If it don't just come out naturally,
mm-hmm.
then I don't try to force it. If it doesn't come out naturally, I'll leave that track alone. I'll come back. Even with Source, I actually only wrote half of that track, put it on the back burner for months, and
mm-hmm.
then I picked it up a couple months later, and then I finished it. So that particular song wasn't written in one day like For the Win was.
Mm-hmm. Wow. I think this might be my favorite interview.
Ah,
Honestly,
girl, I'm
just
so excited.
yeah, no, it is though.
So excited.
It really is just because and I like I said it takes a lot to do interviews in general just because you really have to dig and research. But I was like I have to
Mhm.
do this one and because you're so natural and you're so talented, it just feels so good to interview you. So
Oh my gosh. Hey, girl, you hyping me up all of a sudden now.
but
And,
go ahead.
oh no, I was saying I remember, just us being in class and stuff together.
Yeah, I remember you
Just
singing all the
always,
time. So it's like I'm not
girl.
surprised that she's doing stuff now. But I don't have any more questions.
I thank you. I appreciate it. Like this is like humbling. Like you didn't have to, choose me to, choose to interview me. Like this is a blessing. Like I really do appreciate this. I'm so excited with what you're doing with your
Thank
gift.
you.
Like
Thank you.
yes, please let me know whenever you're gonna put it up, and if you need anything, girl, because I'm gonna post it everywhere and make sure
Okay.
we get people right on over to that blog.
Okay. I'm gonna try to post it by I would say Saturday, but probably next Friday. Is that okay with you?
Okay.
Yeah.
Girl, yeah, you just let me know.
Okay.
Yeah, like I said, let me know, and then because what I'll do is, if you do it Friday, then I'll give you time to kind of get people, start sending people to your page and stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
that way, just be like, hey, I got an interview, and then go check it out here. I can
Yeah.
do something cool, to kind of, send some traffic over that way.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm excited. Like, I'm so excited that you're doing this. 'Cause
Thank you.
it's like,
I'm recording the whole thing, but I'm not very good at editing, so I'm gonna see
mhm,
if I can do that. If not, I might be writing the whole thing.
okay.
It's just to give you a heads up.
Okay.
um,
Well, you let me know, girl. If you need anything, let me
okay.
know.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. This has been fun.
All right. Well, we'll talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon. Bye.
All right.